June 6, 1944. 6:30 a.m. You're in a landing craft heading toward Omaha Beach. First wave casualties, 90%. The door drops in 30 seconds. This is D-Day, and you're about to find out if you survive. Expansion plus promise. D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in human history. 156,000 Allied troops, 50 miles of French coastline, one objective: break through Hitler's Atlantic Wall. In this video, you'll discover why the first soldiers had almost no chance of survival, the split-second decisions that determined life or death, which beach sector gave you the best odds, and how some men survived what should have been impossible. But first, let me tell you where you are right now, because your survival starts before you even hit the beach. The approach, in the landing craft. It's 5:30 a.m. You've been on this landing craft, officially called an LCVP, for over an hour. 36 men packed like sardines. The boat rocks violently, waves crash over the sides. Everyone is soaking wet, freezing, terrified. Half the men are vomiting. The smell is indescribable. Seawater mixed with vomit mixed with fear. You can't see the beach yet, but you can hear it. Artillery, machine guns, explosions. The sound gets louder every minute. You're part of the first wave. Company A, 116th Infantry Regiment. Your objective, Omaha Beach, Dog Green Sector. Let me be clear about something. You drew the worst assignment of the entire invasion. Dog Green had the highest casualty rate of any sector on D-Day. The German 352nd Infantry Division, elite troops, are waiting for you. They have 85mm artillery guns aimed at the beach, MG-42 machine guns firing 1,200 rounds per minute, mortars pre-sighted on landing zones, concrete bunkers that bombers couldn't destroy, clear fields of fire with zero cover. Your pre-invasion briefing said, light resistance expected. Intelligence was wrong. Very, very wrong. The approach, in the landing craft. Your equipment. You're carrying M1 Garand rifle 9.5 pounds, 80 rounds of ammunition 8 pounds, grenades 2 pounds, rations, water, gas mask 15 pounds, assault vest and helmet 10 pounds, total weight 60 to 70 pounds, and you're about to jump into chest-deep water. Can you swim with 70 pounds of gear? Most soldiers couldn't. The guy next to you is praying. The guy behind you is silent, staring at nothing. Your sergeant is trying to look confident. He's not. 6:25 a.m. You're 400 yards from shore. You can see the beach now through the open front of the boat. Smoke, fire, bodies already floating in the water. The other boats that landed before you, they're not moving. 6:29 a.m. Your boat is 50 yards from shore. Machine gun fire hits the metal ramp. Ping, ping, ping. Someone behind you screams. 6:30 a.m. The ramp drops. The ramp drops, first 60 seconds. The ramp hits the water. Immediately, and I mean immediately, machine gun fire tears through the front ranks. The first 6 men out of your boat are hit before they take 3 steps. They fall into the water. Some sink immediately, pulled down by their equipment. Others float face down, dead. This is the reality of the first wave. German machine gunners had pre-aimed at exactly where the ramps would drop. They didn't have to aim, they just pulled the trigger and swept left to right. You have a split-second decision. Option A, follow orders and go straight out. This is what you're trained to do. This is also what's getting everyone killed. Option B, jump over the side of the boat into deeper water. You'll be submerged, harder to hit, but you might drown if you can't get the weight off. Option C, stay in the boat and wait. You'll be court-martialed if you survive. You'll also definitely be hit. Germans are shooting into the boats now. There is no good option. Let's say you choose option B. Jump to the side. You leap over the edge. The water is deeper than expected. You go under. Completely submerged. Your equipment is pulling you down. You're 6 feet underwater. Your boots hit sand. You push up. Your head breaks the surface. You gasp for air. And then you see it. The beach is hell. The beach crossing narration. Bodies everywhere. Men screaming. Boats on fire. Water red with blood. You're 100 yards from the seawall, the only cover on the entire beach. Between you and safety, 100 yards of open sand. No cover? None? Machine gun fire hits the water around you. Mortars explode, sending up geysers of sand and water. Artillery shells scream overhead. You start moving. The beach crossing. Step 1. You're in waist-deep water, moving slow, too slow. Every step feels like it takes forever. Bullets hit the water around you. A soldier next to you is hit. He goes down. You keep moving. You have to. Step 20. You're in knee-deep water now. You can move faster. You start running. Machine gun fire traces across the beach. You see the impacts in the sand before you hear the sound. You dive forward, face first into wet sand. You lie there for 5 seconds. Your heart is pounding so hard you think it might explode. Do you stay down or keep moving? If you stay down, you're a stationary target. If you move, you might get hit. You get up and run. Step 40. You're on dry sand now. This should be better. It's not. The sand is soft. Your boots sink with every step. Your 70 pounds of equipment feels like 200 pounds. Your legs are burning. You pass bodies, dozens of them. Some are your friends from training. You don't stop. You can't. Step 60. A mortar explodes 20 feet to your left. The concussion knocks you down. Sand rains on you. Your ears are ringing so loud you can't hear anything else. You get up, keep running. Step 80. You see a tank obstacle, a metal X-shaped barrier. It's cover, not much, but something. You dive behind it. You made it 80 yards. 20 more yards to the seawall. But you need to catch your breath. Your lungs are on fire. Your legs are shaking. Your hands won't stop trembling. You look back at the water. Bodies are washing up with every wave. More landing craft are arriving. More men are getting cut down. This is the worst thing you've ever seen. And you've been here for exactly 3 minutes. Reaching the seawall, pinned down. You can't stay behind this obstacle forever. Every second more men are landing. More targets for German guns. You take a deep breath. You sprint the final 20 yards. Bullets kick up sand at your feet. You don't know how they're missing you. Pure luck, nothing else. You hit the seawall and collapse against it. You made it. You're alive. You look around. Maybe 30 to 40 other soldiers made it to this section of wall. Your boat had 36 men. You see 5 from your boat. 5 out of 36. The rest are dead, wounded, or still in the water. Pinned down. Here's the problem. The seawall is safety from machine guns. But it's not safety from mortars and artillery. And the Germans know exactly where you are. They start dropping mortars on the seawall. Explosions hit every 30 seconds. Men are being killed by shrapnel despite the cover. You need to move forward. But forward means climbing the bluff, a steep hill filled with German positions. Your sergeant, somehow still alive, starts yelling, "We can't stay here! We're sitting ducks! Move up the bluff!" Nobody moves. Everyone is paralyzed by fear. This is where leadership matters. One man, a corporal, stands up. He doesn't say anything. He just starts climbing. A second man follows him. Then a third. You follow. Climbing the bluff. The hill is steep, almost 45 degrees in some places. You're crawling on your hands and knees, grabbing onto grass and rocks. Your rifle is slung on your back, useless right now. Halfway up, machine gun fire starts hitting near you. But the angle is bad for them. The bunkers are designed to fire at the beach, not straight down the bluff. This is your advantage. You keep climbing. At the top of the bluff, you collapse. You're breathing so hard you think you might pass out. But you're off the beach. You're in the hedgerows now, the French countryside. The killing field is behind you. You survived the beach. Now you just have to survive the rest of the war. The statistics, overall day, narration. Let's talk about numbers. Because D-Day wasn't one battle, it was 5 simultaneous invasions across 5 beaches. Utah Beach. American forces, light resistance. Casualties, 197 killed out of 23,000 landed. Death rate, 0.8%. Why so low? Naval bombardment actually worked. Germans were surprised by landing location. Sword Beach. British forces, moderate resistance. Casualties, 630 killed out of 29,000 landed. Death rate, 2.2%. Juno Beach. Canadian forces, heavy resistance. Casualties, 961 killed out of 21,000 landed. Death rate, 4.6%. Canadians faced underwater mines and strong German positions. Gold Beach. British forces, moderate heavy resistance. Casualties, 1,000 killed out of 25,000 landed. Death rate, 4%. And then, there's Omaha. Omaha Beach. American forces, extreme resistance. Casualties, 2,400 killed out of 34,000 landed. Death rate, 7%. But those are overall numbers. For the first wave at Omaha, the wave you were in? Company A, 116th, Infantry at Dog Green Sector. 96% casualties in the first 30 minutes. Out of 200 men, only 8 were uninjured by noon. 96%. This is why Omaha Beach is remembered as the bloodiest. It wasn't supposed to be this bad. What went wrong at Omaha? Aerial bombing missed. Clouds caused bombers to drop late. Bombs hit fields inland, not beach defenses. Naval bombardment too short. Only 35 minutes of shelling. Concrete bunkers survived. Amphibious tanks sank. D.D. Sherman tanks launched too far out. Most sank. Soldiers had no armored support. Intelligence failure. Allies didn't know the elite 352nd Infantry Division had just moved to Omaha. They expected weak coastal defense troops. Bad weather. 6-foot swells made soldiers seasick and landing craft off target. Everything that could go wrong did. And yet, by the end of June 6, 1944, Allied forces controlled all 5 beaches. Survival factors. What determined your odds? So what determined if you survived D-Day? Let's break down the factors. Factor 1. Which wave you were in. First wave, 6:37 a.m., 25-30% survival rate. Why? No suppression of German defenses yet. You're facing full firepower. Second wave, 7 to 8 a.m., 50-60% survival rate. Better, but Germans still organized and firing effectively. Third wave, plus 8 a.m. onward, 85-90% survival rate. Naval destroyers moved closer and started destroying bunkers. Some German positions overrun. If you landed after 10 a.m., you had a 95% plus chance of surviving the beach. 156,000 troops landed. The Atlantic Wall was broken. How? Individual courage. Small groups of soldiers, not following orders, not following plans, just doing what needed to be done. Making their own decisions. Taking initiative. Refusing to die on that beach. Factor 2. Your physical fitness. Could you run 100 yards in full gear? Could you swim with 70 pounds of weight? Could you climb a steep hill while exhausted? Physical fitness equals survival. The out-of-shape soldiers died in the water or on the beach. Factor 3. Your decisions in real time. Did you jump over the side of the boat or go straight out the ramp? Did you stay behind cover or keep moving? Did you help wounded comrades or leave them? Every decision mattered. Some soldiers survived by playing dead in the water. Others survived by sprinting non-stop. There was no correct strategy, only what worked in your specific situation. Factor 4. Pure random luck. Where the machine gun happened to be aiming. Whether a mortar hit 10 feet left or right. If a bullet hit your equipment instead of your body. Veterans will tell you, luck was the biggest factor. You could do everything right and still die. You could do everything wrong and somehow live. War is chaos. D-Day was maximum chaos. Factor 5. Your landing zone. Dog, green sector, 96% casualties. Dog white sector, 75% casualties. Dog red sector, 60% casualties. Easy red sector, 40% casualties. Fox green sector, 35% casualties. Where your boat was assigned equals most important factor. And you had zero control over that. Your overall odds. If you're in first wave at dog green, worst case, 4% chance of surviving uninjured. If you're in first wave at easy red, better sector, 60% chance of survival. If you're in second wave at any sector, 70% chance of survival. If you land after 9 a.m., 90% plus chance of survival. The math is brutal but clear. Being in the first wave at Omaha Beach was almost a death sentence. The heroes, stories of survival. But some men beat the odds. Let me tell you about a few. Brigadier General Norman Cotter, age 51, oldest man on Omaha Beach. He landed with the second wave. Found soldiers pinned down behind the seawall, paralyzed by fear. He stood up, in full view of German machine guns, and shouted, "Gentlemen, we are being killed here. Let us go inland and be killed." Dark humor, but it worked. Men followed him up the bluff. He survived the entire war. Medic Robert Wright landed in first wave. Saw the soldier next to him get shot. Started treating wounded under fire. Spent 6 hours on the beach pulling men to safety. Saved 15 lives. Was hit by shrapnel twice. Kept working. Survived D-Day. Killed in action 3 weeks later in hedgerow fighting. He was 19 years old. The Bedford Boys. Company A, 116th Infantry, the unit that hit Dog Green. 35 men were from Bedford, Virginia. Population, 3,200. 19 of those 35 were killed on D-Day. 4 more died later in the war. Bedford lost more soldiers per capita than any town in America. Every family knew someone who died. The town never recovered psychologically. This is why there's a National D-Day Memorial in Bedford, Virginia today. Survivors' accounts. Harold Baumgarten, Company B. I was hit 5 times. Face, arm, leg, knee, foot. I saw my best friend get killed right next to me. I don't know how I lived. I just did. Is greater than he survived. Became a doctor. Lived to 88. Is greater than Roy Stevens, 29th Infantry. Is greater than the water was red. I mean red, like paint. Is greater than bodies everywhere. Is greater than I stepped on something soft underwater. It was a man. Is greater than I threw up in my helmet. Is greater than. Then I kept going. Is greater than these weren't professional soldiers. Is greater than they were farmers, mechanics, store clerks. Is greater than average age, 22. Is greater than, and they did the impossible. Is greater than, they broke through Hitler's Atlantic Wall. Is greater than they changed the course of World War II. Is greater than they saved Europe. Is greater than, at unimaginable cost. Could you survive? Final answer. Is greater than so. Final answer. Is greater than, could you survive D-Day? Is greater than, let's be honest. Is greater than physical requirements. Is greater than, run 100 yards in sand, carrying 70 pounds. Can you do this? Is greater than, swim in combat gear. Most modern people cannot. Is greater than, climb a 45-degree slope while exhausted, requires serious fitness. Is greater than, function on no sleep, soaking wet, terrified, mental toughness. Is greater than decision-making under pressure. Is greater than make split-second choices with incomplete information. Is greater than keep moving when every instinct says hide. Is greater than function while people die around you. Is greater than continue fighting after being wounded. Is greater than luck. Is greater than CeeLo which wave you're assigned, random. Is greater than which sector you land, random. Is greater than whether a bullet hits you, random. Is greater than your realistic odds. Is greater than if you're average modern person in first wave at Omaha. Is greater than 10-15% chance of surviving uninjured. Is greater than 30-40% chance of surviving at all, wounded counts. Is greater than if you're fit, trained, and lucky enough to be in second wave. Is greater than 60-70% chance of survival. Is greater than if you land after the beach is secured, 9 a.m. plus. Is greater than 95% plus chance of survival. Is greater than the truth. Is greater than most of us would not make it off Omaha Beach alive. Is greater than not, because we're cowards. Is greater than but, because those men faced something unimaginable. Is greater than, and 2,400 of them didn't survive to tell about it. Is greater than the ones who did. Is greater than their heroes. Is greater than every single one. Respectful closing. Is greater than June 6, 1944, changed the world. Is greater than without D-Day, Nazi Germany might have won World War II. Is greater than without those men on those beaches, history would be different. Is greater than 4,414 Allied soldiers died on D-Day. Is greater than 2,501 were American. Is greater than 1,913 were from other Allied nations. Is greater than their average age was 22. Is greater than today, there are fewer than 100 D-Day veterans still alive. Is greater than they're in their late 90 seconds and early 100 seconds. Is greater than soon, there will be none. Is greater than, which is why it's important to remember what they did. Is greater than not to glorify war. Is greater than but to understand the price of freedom. Is greater than these men didn't want to be heroes. Is greater than they just wanted to go home. Is greater than many of them didn't. Next video hook. Respectful transition. Is greater than you survived the Black Death in 1347. Is greater than you survived the Roman Colosseum in 79 AD. Is greater than and now you know what it took to survive D-Day in 1944. Is greater than, but what about surviving something completely different? Is greater than not war, not disease, not combat. Is greater than what about surviving, just living. Is greater than next video. Could you survive as a medieval peasant? Is greater than 16-hour workdays. Is greater than no rights. Is greater than life expectancy, 35 years. Is greater than, and that's if you're lucky. Is greater than think modern life is hard? Is greater than wait until you see what normal life looked like in the Middle Ages.